This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so good morning all and welcome back to the session. This is Big Data Masters program. Friends, in previous session, we have gone through with simple word frequency calculator. Okay, we were having certain data inside a particular text file, and from that particular file, we read this particular file, and then after reading the file, we have gone through with the calculation of each and every word frequency. That is nothing but word frequency calculator, huh? Okay, so we have performed certain action, we have performed certain operations on top of the data which is available in this test file, and then we proceeded with word frequency calculator, huh? Over there what we have seen, like two types of operations, that is say transformation, and second one is action, huh? So in PySpark or Spark, there are two types of operations: transformation and actions, huh? Transformations are going to provide you RDD, okay, and actions are going to trigger the execution of your Spark code, okay, once you are working with RDDs. And RDDs are lower level construct inside the PySpark or Spark, which are executed onto the Spark core. Okay, Spark core. Now, components of components of Spark. We will be discussing about these particular about the components of Spark. So once we are talking about components, then we will be able to see five different layers. So five different layers. With respect to five different layers, what we are having storage. Okay, on top of this we are having resource manager. Then what we are having Spark core, then certain libraries, and programming API. So these are the five layers. Once we are talking about Spark component, storage, we know it very well. Spark is saying, give me the storage of your choice and give me the resource manager of your choice. So storage, it might be anything, like if you are having data in S3, okay, if you are having data that is residing in the database, if the data is residing in the data warehouse house, or it is available in data lake, NoSQL DB, database. Okay, it can be available at a particular location. Spark is not having a concern. You can store your data, you can retain your data on any storage medium, and that particular data will be considered in order to perform the analytics. Then what we are having resource manager. In Spark cluster, we are having a resource manager. Resource manager is having the the duty to manage all the resources of the cluster. Just give me a minute.
Ashok, what is this S3?
Simple storage solution. Just
Okay,
give
okay,
me a minute.
okay, okay.
Pankaj is storage of AWS. Specific name of storage of AWS, Amazon Web
O-
Service.
Okay, okay.
Sorry guys. So S3 is simple storage service from the AWS side. We used to store the data in the form of buckets in AWS. So you can have your data and you can put your data or files over there, and Spark can be leveraged in order to read the data from that particular location. S3 is storage service from the AWS side, Amazon Web Services, right?
Yes, yes, Ashok.
Okay. So if you want to see, let me try to provide you a view. Sign is mandatory, does not exist. Mhm. Captcha. 3HN and 22. Captcha is not correct. Don't know. Don't know, like the login is not happening. 33H. Mm-hmm. I need to check, like my credentials are not working. Okay. Tomorrow I will show you. I will
O-
check these particular credentials.
Okay,
View.
we need to create an account for this.
Yes, yes, yes. We need to create an account. Let me
Oh,
show you.
okay.
So once you are going to have access to S3, just have a look. So over there you will be able to see like Amazon S3 console. Inside this S3 console, it will be look like this. S3, that is simple storage solution. Over here you need to create the bucket. Bucket is carrying your files or data or folders, whatever you are willing to have. A bucket name will be unique in a particular geography. You need to choose a bucket. Okay, you need to provide the name, and then you can have different buckets in your account, and those particular buckets, those are nothing like folders, okay, or directories. In those particular directories you can create folders and all, further directories and all, and then you can refer that particular location in order to read. We will see, we will have the practicals on to like how to read the data from S3. Okay, EMR service is there from the AWS side. So we will be configuring Spark onto the AWS. Right now, like we are having Spark on our local environment, but how it is working onto the cloud, that we will see. Okay, so tomorrow I will show you with respect to this S3 and all. Okay, EMR service from the AWS side. I will show you tomorrow. I'm not able to log in. Probably like I need to check the account details and all. Okay. So let me come back onto the point. Okay. So we were discussing about the components of Spark, and the lower layer over here is nothing but storage. Or what we can say, the physical layer. Okay, so over here like we are dealing with the storage, and it can it can read the data, it can take the data from different storage mediums which are mentioned over here. It might be like you are having data on disk, so you can read the data from that disk as well. That is perfectly fine. Okay, so this is nothing but the lower layer, and which is, you can say, storage one. Then we are having resource manager. Once we are talking about resource manager, so it can have different resource manager. Say it can have yarn, then Kubernetes, Mesos, okay, and Spark standalone. Okay. Uh, so what is the meaning of this? Like we are having different, you can say, resource manager inside the market, and Spark is saying, give me the storage of your choice, give me the resource manager of your choice, and then I will be able to deliver in in a good way or with low latency. Okay, so we are having different resource manager, and Spark can leverage Yarn, Kubernetes, Mesos, okay, and Spark standalone itself. Over here, like we are working onto this like PyCharm and all. Okay, we have configured the Spark, and if you are able to see, the Spark has been downloaded. We have downloaded this particular flavor. So if you have gone through with the downloading process, so we have downloaded this particular version, Spark 3.4.0 bin Hadoop. It might be like say Spark 3.5 bin Hadoop 3 in your case, right? So it can be anything, but what we are able to see over here, Hadoop 3. Hadoop 3, what is the meaning of this? So Hadoop is having Yarn as a cluster manager. So Yarn is leveraged as a cluster manager with respect to our deployment. So the Spark version what we have downloaded, the Spark configuration what we have downloaded, that is having Yarn as a cluster manager. Okay, so that is fine. Now moving further, like say if you are not having Yarn, then you can have Kubernetes. Kubernetes as a cluster manager, Mesos as a cluster manager, and Spark standalone can be utilized as a cluster manager. For you can leverage any of these particular, you can say, cluster managers in order to execute the application on top of Spark cluster. So Apache Spark, let me show you something. So at this moment, like if we are talking about the download, so you just need to click onto the download and choose the version. So say 3.5.1 that is released on to 23rd of February and 2024, and it is compatible with Hadoop 3.3 or later. So it is compatible with this one. So if we are clicking on to this, so it is going to download this particular image for us, and then we will be able to configure it. So this is like how to download. Then what we are having certain other things. Just have a look over here. So say, let me go onto the documentation, onto the latest release and deploying. So over here, so submitting Spark application, where we can submit our Spark application. Spark standalone, Mesos, Yarn and Kubernetes. So these particular you can say configurations or resource manager can be utilized to manage the resources of your cluster. So what exactly is happening once an application is coming and the user, the customer wants to have the execution of a particular application, then what it will do, it will connect with the resource manager. And then what we are having Spark cluster. Say node manager 1. So we will be having the node managers. Okay, say node manager 2, node manager 3, node manager 4. Okay, node manager say 6, and let me mention node manager 5 as well. So what we are having, what we are able to see over here, RM is nothing but the resource manager. Once the user and this user or customer, whatever you want to say, so this user wants to execute the application onto this particular Spark cluster. So over here, what we are having say driver as well. One component is there, so driver can reside over here and driver can reside inside this particular cluster as well. Say onto this particular node driver is running. Okay, so driver is nothing a program or master of the Spark cluster, and these are nothing but the worker nodes. If this is the master, then remaining will be the slave machines. Resource manager is, you can say, outside from this particular cluster. Now you can initiate driver at any location, and based upon the initiation of the driver, based upon the configuration of the driver, like if you are going to configure the driver onto the user machine, then it will be client side and cluster side. Okay, let me show you some diagrams. Okay, so just have a look onto the this particular diagram. Mm, hmm. I'm having these diagrams. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so let me show you something. Okay, so what we are having inside the Spark cluster, we are having drivers and executors. We are having driver and executor. Now, driver or executors are nothing but, like, you can think these are running onto a particular worker node. One worker node can have different executors. Multiple executors are possible onto a node manager. Okay, so just over here, what we are able to see, say the client machine is there, then Spark submit, and say with respect to the driver, it is going to uh, to have the execution of the Spark code onto the client machine. Let me show you something in a good way. Okay, so just have a look. With respect to this particular diagram, you will be able to see. So over here, friends, this is the client, and client is willing to run a particular Spark application. So Spark application is nothing but a code that you are going to execute, and you want to have the outcome from that particular code. So the client is going to submit the application that is known as, say, Spark submit. So he is going to connect with the resource manager, and resource manager is having the complete information about this particular cluster. Okay, so over here, what you are able to see, executor, but the executors are divided in this particular way. Okay, so one node manager, okay, can have multiple, or you can say these are nothing but worker nodes. Node manager 1, node manager 2, these are nothing but worker nodes, and worker nodes in Spark cluster. Okay, so worker node or node manager, that is the same thing. Okay, so node manager, that is in terms of Hadoop terminology, we used to say node manager, and with respect to the Spark, we used to say worker machine or worker node. So driver is there. So we are having the configuration cluster mode and client mode. Cluster mode, just you need to pay attention over here, and client mode. Once this particular driver is running inside the user or customer machine, then it is known as client mode. And once the driver is running inside the Spark cluster, then that is known as cluster mode. So with respect to the availability of the driver program, we are having two different types of deployment in Spark. That is cluster mode deployment. Over here, the driver is running within the cluster, and client mode, over here, the driver is running inside the driver machine. Oh, sorry, customer machine. Okay, so two types of deployments are there. Now, what exactly is being happening? Once the user is coming and he wants to have the execution of an application, then he will connect with resource manager. Hey, resource manager, I want to have the execution of this application. He's having certain code or data or code both. Okay, so with the help of the Spark cluster, he just want to get the analysis. So he will connect with resource manager. Hey, manager, I just want to have the execution of this application. Then resource manager is doing what? It is going to initiate an application master. Okay, application master. Application master. Okay, so resource manager is going to initiate a container, inside a container in one of the node manager, and that particular, you can say, container is known as, that container is having certain code that is known as application master, and this application master is going to have the bargaining with resource manager. Okay, so this application master is going to check the application So based upon the size of the application and all based upon the resource requirement, it is going to bargain the resources with the resource manager. Within the diagram, you will be able to see. So resource manager has initiated application master. Okay, AM container. Container is nothing but a combination of memory and core. Okay, so it is having certain resources, and in those particular resources application master is started. Then application master is going to have the bargaining. Just have a look over here. It is going to bargain the resources from the resource manager. Resource manager is having the information about this particular cluster, like these are the free resources in these particular machines, and I can allocate. So based upon the bargaining, once it is done, the resource manager is going to say that these are the free resources and you can provide these resources to the user, or to the application. Okay, then what it will do, the application master is going to provide those resources to the application and keep monitoring onto those particular application. Once the execution is done, then the client is informed, and the execution will be stopped. So over here the submit, over here the driver is running over here inside the client machine. But what is happening once we are having the cluster mode? Just have a look. Cluster mode. So Spark submit is there, resource manager, application master, and the Spark driver. Over here the driver is there inside the Spark cluster. This is yarn cluster, or Spark cluster, what you can say. These resources are managed by yarn, that is yet another resource navigator. So, and over here inside the client mode, the driver is running over here inside the client machine. Let me show you certain other diagrams. Uh, huh. Say we are having this presentation. Let me open this presentation. Probably it will be having some more diagrams, some good diagrams. Okay, so okay, I was like providing you the information about with respect to this particular diagram. So we are having a client. Okay, MapReduce client that is going to connect with resource manager. Resource manager is having you can say the information about all the resources within the cluster. So we are having node manager 1 2 3. Yeah, so node managers are having node managers, these are nothing but like the big machines, and over here we are having different, you can say we can create different containers. Just have a look over here. Say we are having graph task, we are having map task. Okay, map task is given to this particular, you can say portion. So if we are going to check like what is this map task, so this is nothing but with respect to this particular client, he has executed, and based upon the application requirement, it has given certain resources in this particular cluster, and say one resource from node manager 1, second resource from the node manager 2, and third resource from the node manager uh, 3. Okay, so these are nothing but the containers, friends. Containers, like we are going to provide some configuration to this client and some configuration or some containers to this client. So you can think in this particular way, like we are having say 12 GB RAM over here. 12 GB RAM over here. So 4 GB RAM is given to this, 4 GB is given to this, and 4 GB is given to this. Over here, like this machine is having say 8 GB RAM. So 4 GB is given to this, 4 GB is given to this, and over here say we are having 12 GB. So based upon the configuration of a particular node, we can have multiple containers. And based upon the execution and all, based upon the application size, we can provide multiple containers from a particular node manager to a particular machine. Okay, let me show you something, some other things as well. So I just want to show you a good diagram. Okay, just have a look. So over here, this is the client versus cluster mode. So client, the driver program is running onto the client machine, and these are nothing what I have mentioned. So I have mentioned these worker nodes. So you are able to see, say, worker node 1, worker node 2. Okay, in the worker node, what we are having, based upon the configuration and all, we can create multiple containers. Those are nothing but the executor. So we can have multiple executor in a worker node. So these are nothing but worker node, and say once the application is going to request for the execution, then it is going to connect with the cluster manager. Then cluster manager is going to initiate application master. We are not able to see over here, application master is being initiated in one of the node manager or worker node, and that is going to bargain with the cluster manager to have the resources, required resources for this particular application, and then it will start monitoring. So a resource manager, containers, what I used to say, containers, executor, these are given from the from the worker machine. So Spark session, that is fine. Application master, what you are able to see over here, and in this as well, like we are having application master, Spark cell, resource manager, that is fine. Okay,
Ashok, executors are containers?
yes, these are containers. Let me try to elaborate more onto this. So what we are having different, you can say, words what we are able to see over here. RM, that is nothing but resource manager. Resource manager. AM, that is nothing but application master. Okay, application master. Node manager oblique worker node, these are nothing but slave machines. Then what we are having, container, executor, or container executor. This is nothing but bunch of resources. Containers.
So these worker nodes are not executors.
I'm coming on that particular point. Okay, now what we are having, worker node. Worker node, or what I can say, node manager. Okay, worker node is having node manager. In the Hadoop terminology, we used to say node manager, NM. Okay, onto the slave machines, like we are having node manager. Okay, now worker node is having, say 16 GB RAM, and 16 GB RAM, and say 4 core CPU. Okay, so what we can do, we can create multiple containers or executors from this particular worker node. So this particular worker node can have four executor, and with configuration what, one core plus 4 GB RAM. Okay, so we can have four executor from a particular worker node. This is a worker node which is having this particular configuration, and from this particular configuration I can have four executor, right? So this is the meaning. If I'm having say this worker node, this worker node over here, like I can have multiple executors within the single node, worker node, based upon the size of the container, based upon the size of this particular executor. Clear? Is it fine?
Uh, Executor and container both are same, right? Or it is different?
Container is nothing but the configuration.
Uh,
Okay. And container is a universal word that can be leveraged anywhere. Like I'm having a container that is having this configuration, but with respect to Spark, we used to say executor. Executors are limited to Spark. One container of this configuration in Spark is called executor.
Application master is also run in the container.
That is also having some resources, that is like also you can say carrying carrying certain resources, that is nothing but a container.
So is the such type of virtualization in the big
Yes,
hardware,
that is
we can
virtualization,
run
that
different
is the correct word.
run different.
Virtualization is the correct word. Okay, so we are having say physically one machine, but over here we can create different containers in order to boost the parallel processing, and those particular you can say bunch of resources are, or a bunch of you can say containers are known as executors, over here inside the Spark.
Ashok, I
We
think
can,
it is replicating the same concept which we used in Hadoop too. I think this application manager or application master was there in data node which was working and
yes.
executing certain tasks.
So that's what I have explained. So resource manager, Spark can have different resource manager, and once you are talking about Yarn, then the Hadoop concept will be replicated over here.
Right.
Okay, so we are especially talking about the Yarn. We can have Kubernetes as a cluster manager. We can have Mesos as well. We can have Spark standalone as a cluster manager, and this is very simple. That is, you can say managing the resources from a particular cluster. You are having certain configuration, and you are having some applications which will run onto the cluster. So how those particular applications are going to occupy the resources from the available configuration. Okay, so in terms of containers, you are going to divide the worker node configuration. Okay, and these containers are of small size than the worker node, or if you can keep like one executor of this particular size, and that is also fine. What you can think like say you are having one executor of this particular size, 4 core CPU and 16 GB RAM, that is also fine. This is also a container. Okay, so what
And
you
that
can,
configuration is fixed or that can be like scalable, can be changed within that data node or this
once we are going to
node.
submit a Spark application, at that moment we need to decide. We are
Okay.
going to decide, say Spark Spark hyphen num executor, say equal to 4. Spark dot, not hyphen but dot, num executor instance. Spark dot executor memory equal to say 16 GB. Spark dot executor core. Okay, say I just want to have two core. Okay, so in this particular way, while submitting the Spark application, we guys are going to decide that this particular application will have this much of the resources from the cluster. So we are going to decide this, the size of container and all. Okay,
Okay.
let me show you one website as well. Spark Optimizer. I think Spark Config Optimizer. This is the website. Just have a look. Okay, so say we are having number of nodes 5 and core per node 16 and memory is this one. That is per node memory. Right. So we are having like 5 machines and each machine is having 16 core and the memory is 32 GB for each RAM, each machine. Now, like if you want to have the parallelism per core, so if you want to have two parallelism 2 at per core or memory overhead, we will be discussing this like memory overhead and all. Okay, so how many executors you can have? Like if you want to keep it say 1, then calculate this. Okay, so what we will be having, we will having spark dot driver core 5 core we are going to give, executor core 5, executor memory is this one. Okay, so this is nothing but spark dot driver dot memory, spark dot executor dot memory, executor dot instance. So we will be having 14 instance. If like I'm going to say reduce say the number of say nodes, we are having 2 only. Okay, and what I can say, total memory, number of executor, and say core, say I'm having say 8 core and say 8 GB of the RAM. So and say the parallelism per core, that is 2, and if you are going to calculate, then this much of the executors you will be having. So you will be having only one executor instances with this particular configuration. Number of core per node, number of memory, so you will be having say uh, 8 to the 16 GB of the 16 core and 16 GB of the RAM. So and you want parallelism, two parallelism you want to have, so these particular things will come into the picture. So in this particular way, with this particular website we will be able to get, say if we are having this much of configuration, then how many nodes and cores or memory, executor memory, driver memory. Okay, what will be the memory overhead, we will be going to discuss about these particular parameter. Spark dot dynamic allocation false. Okay, SQL adaptive enable. Okay, different parameters are there. So based upon this particular calculation, we are having this particular code. And just let me copy it over here and paste it over here. So what it is saying says spark.submit hyphen hyphen name. Okay, this is the application class. Master is what? Yarn. Over here, yarn is used as a cluster resource manager. Deployment mode, over here the deployment mode is nothing but the cluster, huh? So cluster is the deployment mode. What we have discussed, like two types of modes are there. You can have client mode or cluster mode. And num executor, executor memory, or executor core, that is given with the help of these parameters, huh? Executor memory is a 6G. Okay, executor core. Okay, so while submitting the Spark application, we are having multiple parameters that we are going to decide. Driver, executor. So we are giving the configuration of driver as well. Because like the cluster mode is there. If the cluster mode is there, then the driver will run within the cluster. So we need to provide the resources for the driver machine as well, right? Are you able to get? Are you able to visualize? Are you able to connect the dots, huh? So what we are going to discuss at this moment, we are discussing about the different components, huh? So storage we have seen, yarn is resource manager we have seen, like we are having different resource manager, huh? And where this particular resource manager is utilized over here, like we are mentioning, say master is this one, yarn, huh? You can, let me show you some other things as well, like how you are going to refer, how you are going to provide the name of other resource manager, huh? Say the Kubernetes is the another resource manager, huh? So how you are going to refer the Kubernetes as a resource manager, just have a look with the help of this particular command. Okay. Mhm. Cluster mode. Okay, just have a look, huh? So Spark submit master is K8 over here, huh? Deployment mode cluster, and the name of the application class config. So config is nothing but Spark executor instances. Okay, and the image and all. So those particular things will come into the picture in future. No need to worry. But in this particular way, we are going to mention the resource manager information over here, huh? Are you able to get, huh? Are you able to visualize, like we are having certain piece of code, how it will be submitted for the execution onto the different cluster managers or resource managers, huh? So this is the configuration in order to submit it on Kubernetes. Okay, so where the Kubernetes cluster is running, you just need to provide the IP and port, and then it will be going to execute your application. If yarn is the cluster manager, then you need to mention it in this particular hyphen hyphen master yarn, okay. Then deployment mode cluster. So what is the meaning of cluster mode? So the driver is running inside the cluster, that is the driver cluster mode. Once the driver is running inside the client machine, that is nothing but the client mode, in order to deploy your Spark applications. Okay, we will be having, you can say, detailed discussion on to these particular things once we are going to submit the Spark applications, huh? At this moment we are not submitting, I'm just providing you the overview how the things are happening inside the PySpark world. Fine so far? Are you able to get
Fine, Ashok.
Yeah, fine, sir.
any
Fine.
confusion, any doubt that is coming in your mind? You can ask now.
One confusion in coming my mind, Ashok.
Mm-hmm.
Ashok, when we run the application, first client need to connect with through the resource manager. Okay, after
Mm-hmm.
resource manager, one nodes one you can say in container a application master is running, and then it negotiate with the resource manager for the resource
Mm-hmm.
negotiation. And then it's after getting the negotiation, he gets some executor to run the application, and he run the application through that executors, and all the monitoring of the task and all the things will go through the application master now, rather than
Mm-hmm.
resource manager, which was happened in the Hadoop one earlier.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So where this driver came into the picture?
Okay, okay. So driver
What the
role.
purpose of the driver here? Because
Mm-hmm. Just.
monitoring and all the things is happen through the application master now.
Mm-hmm. Let me show you something. Okay. So once you are going to have client mode, let me show you with this particular diagram. Not this one. This one. Okay. So over here, like it is keep on monitoring. This is nothing but the client mode. This is client mode, and this is the cluster mode. This is the cluster mode, right? This
Yes,
is
yes.
cluster mode, and this one is the client mode. The difference over here, what will happen, like the driver is communicating with respect to the execution of execution of the job. Okay, so it is like after allocating the resources to the application, now driver is communicating with this particular uh, the application, and the status is being shared uh, to the driver directly. Yeah. Okay, but over here inside the driver machine, okay, inside the cluster configuration mode, what exactly is happening, the application master and all those are going to share the or via resource manager, it is going to get the information, the execution has been completed. So that is with respect to the configuration and all. Now there are a lot of things which are performed by the driver. So what are those particular things? Let me list those particular things for you over here. So what I mentioned, just give me a minute. Okay, so what you are able to get over here, the client is having the information about the execution of the task. It is like getting the information directly. But once we are having this one, the cluster mode, the client is getting the information from the driver which is running inside the cluster. So direct monitoring is not there. It is via driver. Over here, driver is running inside the cluster, so he will get the information about the driver which is running in the cluster. Over here, it is able to get the information locally. Right? So driver is providing the information and all to the client. Are you able to get?
But driver is also running in the client side as well, na?
Yes, yes, yes.
So what
You
is the
can have
function there?
driver either in client side or in cluster side. It is not possible like you are having driver onto the both side.
No, 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 no. you told like in the if you are going with the cluster, okay, at
Hmm.
that time the driver is communicating. When we are going with the cluster manager, so driver is there and the driver is communicating with the client. Okay, the all things. So, but in the second case, if the driver
These
is
are different.
installed in,
Ashok, sorry to interrupt you. Can you
Mhm.
please open the WhatsApp group? And I'm sharing two pictures there. Can you please open it for us? I'm sharing some uh, like a picture which is related to your last lecture where you explained the this client mode and cluster mode. This is
Just
something
a minute.
web WhatsApp you can open so we can see that I'm sharing.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. So driver is running inside the client machine. Okay. He is going to have the inputs from all of these particular executors which are running inside the cluster. That is one thing. So driver will get the information. The client will get the information within its machine. But
Mhm.
with respect to this, just have a look. The driver is running inside the cluster and client is nothing but a machine, client machine.
Mhm.
This particular client machine is communicating with the driver which is running inside the cluster.
Mhm.
Are you able to get? That's
Yes,
what I
yes,
have
yes.
explained.
Mhm.
You can think in this particular way. You are having your own machine, okay, and say at my side the Spark cluster is running, okay, at
You're not audible, Ashok.
and these particular applications are coming and execution is happening at my side, that is nothing but Spark cluster, and you are getting the information or you are getting the outcome. Now how you will be able to get the outcome? And you will be able to get the outcome in two ways. You will be able to get the information or output in two ways, or you will be able to have the execution of that particular application in two ways. One is like client mode. Client mode is what once the client is running in your machine, okay, sorry, the driver is running in your machine, okay, at that moment like you are sitting or you are having the master of the Spark cluster, and that is having the information about each and everything what is happening inside the Spark cluster. There is one challenge. If your machine is down, then you will not be able to get the update. You will not be able to get like what has happened. Okay, the application will be lost. If your machine is down because of any issue, or if you have like intentionally switched off or your machine like went into the sleep mode, then you will not be able to get the outcome. Second mode is cluster mode. At that moment, the driver is running inside the cluster and the client machine is communicating with the driver machine to get the output. If this is down because of any reason, but the computation inside the cluster is being happening, okay, it is being executed, and say after some time the client machine is up, then it will connect with the driver. It will connect with the driver and get the output. Are you able to get at this moment?
Yes, yes, yes. Got it.
Okay, so whatever, like these are the same diagrams, so same diagrams, okay. So the client is communicating via cluster. Now the client is having direct, you can say, oh sorry, this is the driver. So driver, the client is communicating with driver or with cluster. Probably no. This is the another. Which one I have shown? Just a minute. Cluster mode, yes, the driver is running. So client is communicating via this driver. Now inside the client mode, the driver is available within the driver is running within the client machine that you are able to see over here. The client is inside the client machine, the driver is running. So it is able to get the information locally over here. It will be able to get the information directly from the cluster, right? So the diagram like which I have shared probably in past or that you have shared, those are like the good one. You can refer those particular diagrams. Now there are certain other things with respect to the driver. Responsibility of driver. Okay. So what is the entry point of Spark cluster?
Is Spark context or is for session?
Spark context and Spark session. These are available on driver only. Okay. So driver is providing the entry point to the Spark cluster. Okay. Provide what I can say provide entry point to Spark cluster. Okay. That is in terms of Spark shell or Spark session or Spark context. So that is the first thing which is done by the driver. This is the responsibility of driver. Now what we are having, we used to write down the RDDs. We have written certain RDDs, RD1, RD2, RD3. So uh, it is going to translate RDDs into execution graph. That is nothing but DAG. Okay. So translate the RDDs into execution graph. Graph. Okay, so this is the another responsibility of driver. Then split data, split this particular graph into stages. Graph into stages. We will have discussion onto this stages. There is no need to worry. Or let me show you something. Okay, so what we are having driver. Then like we used to have different, you can say, jobs. Then jobs are divided into stages, and then stages are divided into the task. So application, job, stage, and task. This is nothing but the execution process, how a Spark application is being executed, and whose responsibility to have these particular stages related information or to convert the graph into stages. The driver is responsible for that. In our previous session, we have seen these particular things into the Spark UI. Okay, if you are able to recall, we have seen this kind of you can say this kind of pictures in our previous session. So like stages are there, stage 8, 9, 10, 11. So different stages are there. So we are having a DAG, and DAG is, you can say, transferred or translated into different stages. That is the responsibility of this particular driver. Fine? Clear so far? Is it fine with everyone?
Yes, Ashok. No fun.
Yeah, sure. So executor, when will be
Yes, yes,
executing,
Uh-huh.
then it will always refer drivers, right, for this translating this RDD from the graph.
Yes, definitely.
Hmm.
Without master, and it is maintaining the metadata as well. So in Hadoop, who is maintaining the metadata?
Name node.
driver अच्छा है Hadoop name node. Sorry.
Name node is maintaining, and name node is what? Master of the
Master
cluster,
node.
na? And
Master.
over here, who is the master? Over here inside the Spark cluster, who is the master? Driver is the master, friends.
Driver.
Driver is the master of the Spark cluster. It can have multiple executor. Okay. Now, just try to focus over here. I have shown this particular diagram. Okay. Driver. I'm trying to explain something. Okay. So either it is client mode or cluster mode. Okay. If it is client mode or cluster mode, say if I'm having 10 applications, right? If I'm having 10 applications, then how many applications masters will be available over there?
10.
Hmm?
10.
10, huh?
10. 10.
Yes. So that was the issue inside the Hadoop, and it has been taken care by Yana. And Yan is having Yan is utilized as a cluster manager over here inside the Spark. So we will be having the same, you can say, concept. So maintain metadata. That is the another duty of driver. Okay. Then it provides Spark UI as well. Spark UI, which we have seen in our last session. Spark UI, it is provided by the driver machine only. Driver is going to provide the Spark UI. Okay. Then schedule task. Okay. Schedules task and control their execution. Okay, however, like say most of the stuff is done by the resource manager over here, but it is responsible for the interaction with resource manager and all, and combinedly these particular like two components are going to finish scheduling and controlling of their execution. Then what I can say, translate. These are the things what I can say, the responsibilities of the driver. Okay, so we were discussing about the components of Spark, and what we are able to see, like storage and resource manager. These are the two components. Storage is used to store the data, and resource manager is going to manage all the resources within the cluster. Now, what we are having inside the Spark core is nothing but engine, engine for execution of RDDs. So, what we are going to write in terms of RDDs, that is executed onto the Spark core. Okay, Spark core is responsible for execution of the RDDs. So this is like the core engine. Spark core is nothing but engine utilized for the execution. Then over here we are writing the code in, once we are talking about say RDDs or Spark core. So that is the same thing. RDDs are executed onto the Spark core, and like applications are written in terms of RDDs, resilient distributed data set. Then once we are talking about libraries, so what I have mentioned, Spark core is nothing but RDDs and like the execution engine where the execution is happening with lower level construct. RDDs are nothing but lower level construct. But over here, libraries are higher order constructs which are like utilized in order to write down the code, and then execution will happen over onto the Spark core only. Okay, so whatever we are going to write in higher order construct, that is nothing but Spark SQL, okay, data frame, okay, mlib or graphics and streaming. So what we are having over here, what we are able to see, these are the libraries or higher order construct which are available inside the Spark, and over here we are going to write down the code with the help of these particular libraries. Okay, after like writing in, once the execution is being done, that is converted into RDDs and execution will happen onto the Spark core. Okay, so conversion is required into RDDs of these higher order construct code, and then we will be able to get the outcome. Okay, so libraries, that's why like it is called higher order construct. And we know it very well. Like programming language, once we are talking about a programming language, Spark is providing four different programming languages: Scala, R, Java, and Python. So we are having four different programming languages API. With the help of those, like we will be able to have the execution of our code. So what we have seen, these are the different components of Spark. Just have a look and ask if you are having any doubt. Just have a look. Any doubts so far?
No, show clear.
Nothing clear.
Okay. Perfect. So what we have seen, what we have covered so far, like Spark component, deployment modes in Spark, and then the responsibilities of driver. Okay, that is perfectly fine. Now let me come back onto the practical part, what we have seen in our previous session. Now it's the time for practicals. So in previous session, friends, we were having the execution of this particular code. PyCharm, let me open the PyCharm ID generator. Okay, so this is the code that we have executed. Let me close this one. Day 11. Batch. Okay, I think this was the, no, this was not the code. So day 1. Which project is this? Data engineering, weighting average generator batch. Okay, probably like we have not written the code over here in PyCharm ID, but or like I haven't saved. So let me create a Python file and give a name, say PySpark practice, and say batch PySpark practice 1. Okay. So what we have written in our previous session, that is the word frequency calculator, and we have written a very simple code in order to calculate the frequency of uh, each and every word. So with respect to this word frequency, we have done what, like we were having some data. Okay, that was okay. So we were having this particular data. Let me copy this particular code and paste it over here. So we were having certain data that is placed onto this particular path, and then what we have done, we have gone through with flat map transformation and then flat map transformation has transformed this particular data, and it has split it based upon the space. Then we have applied one with each and every word, and then we have performed the reduce by key transformation on top of that particular data, and finally we have calculated, we have captured the result. We have collected the outcome. So these are the things what we have executed in our previous session. Now let me copy this particular code and paste it over here only. Okay, so SC is not available. So what we need to do, we need to create the Spark context. Okay, so SC equal to, say, let me first import Spark context, and what I can do, SC equal to Spark context, and what I can do, say app name. I can give a particular app name over here. Okay, so app name is a word frequency calculator. And that is fine. SC is available, and let me try to print the reduced RD. Okay, and let me execute the current file. Have we executed this code in PyCharm IDE, friends? Have we done the execution of our code in PyCharm IDE in previous session?
Not yet, Ashok. I will try today. Couldn't get time.
Okay, what has happened? Okay, so could not parse master URL. So what we need to do, we need to provide the master details as well. So we are running it onto the local calculator. Okay, Okay, so this is the stuff like what we have done in our previous session, like in order to calculate the frequency of each and every word. So we have gone through with these particular transformations, and finally we have taken this particular action. Action collect is nothing but action over here. So we have done the execution and we have calculated the frequency. But over here, friends, if you are able to see, the data is not coming in a good way. The data is not coming in a good way. What we want, we want to have the data in shorted format. Like I just want to short this particular data, and I just want to have like the frequency, or I want to have the top 5 keywords from this particular data. Okay, in order to take top 5 keywords, so say this particular data, if like it is having say millions of records, then I need to search all the records, and probably that is a very difficult exercise. So what I need to do, I need to have something with the help of what I will be able to take, say top 5, top 10, top 20, whatever the requirement is. So I need to identify some operations with the help of what I will be able to identify the top 5 or top 10 keywords. So we are having one, you can say, action that is nothing but take. Okay, so with the help of say take, let me try to show you. Say reduced RD, and I can reduce the RD dot collect. Okay, so say instead of say collect, I'm going to take this particular action, a reduced RD dot take 5. Just have a look. Take 5. So hello, how one, R1, U1, welcome one. Okay, so I'm able to like take is nothing but one action what I can apply onto top of a particular RD, and it will do what? It will provide me the top 5 numbers or top 5 keywords from the given data set. So hello one, how one, R1, U1, welcome one, that is nothing but top 5 keywords. Top 5 keywords, but it is not what I'm expecting. I just need to have the data which is shorted, and then what I can say, those particular numbers or words are having the highest frequency. I'm able to get top 5, but these numbers are not having the highest frequency. So what I need to do, if you want to,
Short.
yes,
Short.
so if you want to get the highest frequency numbers, then what do you need to do? You need to short. So I'm trying to short this particular data. Okay, so in order to short this particular data, what I can do, I can apply the short by transformation. So say reduced RD dot short by, okay, and short by what? You can short it. Just have a look over here. Then if I'm going to say hover onto say, just a minute, I want to explain something. Okay, so this is the signature of short by. How the short by is working? Okay, so it is going to like it is going to take some parameters, like it can take self, or you can say RDD you can give. Then you can have the outcome in ascending or descending order. You can have the outcome in num partition and all. And this is the stuff like how it has been written. And you can have say key function, and that can assign a value to s and all. Okay, so you can assign a certain value over here. So this is nothing but the signature of the short function or short byte transformation, which is available inside the PySpark. So say if you want to do the shorting, then short by what? So what we are able to get, we are able to get this data. Okay, so this is the outcome. So if like this is x, okay, if this is x, so in over here, like what we are having multiple, you can say, keywords. Okay, say this is x, so inside the complete is say x, or if we are going to take say one parameter at a moment, one value, one element, so comma, or just try to focus about the indexing. If this is a particular list, so the index for x, what it will be, x1 is this one, x2 is this one, x3 is this one. Okay, right? Okay, and if we are drilling it further, then if we are taking, if we are talking about this one, okay, then let me try to paste it over here in order to explain. So say this is uh, the the outcome once we have executed the reduced rdd.collect. Okay, so over here, if I'm having this, how we are going to short this particular data. Okay, so what I will do, I will give this particular outcome, this particular you can say key and value as an input, and what I want, say hello one and how one. Okay, say how five. Okay, how five, and say r r10. Okay, so if I'm having say this particular data, and if this is x, so on which level I need to do the shorting? And if I'm talking about index, say x of, say if this complete is x, then this is say x
X1,
of
X1.
x, just a minute, x of 0, and this is hello is x of 0, and 1 is x of 1 over here. 1 is x of 1. If I'm taking this x, so x of 0, the indexing is started from 0 over here. Okay, so this is x. If I'm taking this is x, then x of 0 is hello, and x of 1 is 1. So if I'm going to give this is an input, and I just want to have the outcome in shorted format, at which level I need to do the shorting? Based upon x of 1,
X of 1.
right? Okay, so I need to do the shorting based upon x of 1. Okay, so what I need to do over here, say short by, and I am going to apply the lambda function. If I'm providing say x as input, so the shorting will be based upon x of 1. Okay, perfectly fine. And what I want to have, ascending or descending? Ascending. So if I'm mentioning ascending false, what is the meaning of this?
Descending.
Descending.
That is descending. So descending is what? Like top number will be highest number will be on top, huh?
Yes. Yes, Ashok.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So, and what I can do, what I can mention, say shorted RDD I can give, and then I can take 5 from the shorted RDD. Yeah. And let me collect this one as well. First, I'm going to say collect, then collect, and let me print the collected outcome as well. Okay, just have a look. Okay, so data 7 is 5. Okay, big 4, 2 3 2, that is given 3 times, and world is given 3 times. So what is happening over here? This is the entire laundry list. Okay, as we have shorted this particular data, but if we want to have the top 5 keywords only, so we are just going to have take 5. Okay, so it is going to provide me that much number from the given RDD. Okay, this is the RDD. Now over here, say this is like what, say I'm having this as a result. Okay, say result is there, result is there, that is given to this particular variable. Result is given to this particular variable shorted RDD. And this one is the result. Okay, this one is the outcome. Now now if I just want to print, say this, if I just want to print in this particular way, if I just need to print in this particular way, say data 7, okay, hello how 5, I just don't want to provide the data in the array format. Over here, if you are able to see, the array is given. Okay, or like array of words, or like list of elements, whatever you can say. Okay, so if we are having this particular data, and we want to get it in this particular form, what we need to do? What we need to do?
Transpose.
Transpose. How? Tell me.
What is the problem statement? Can you please repeat it again?
This
Transpose.
is the input. Okay, and I want the output like this. Data 7. Okay, is 5. Okay.
Looping, through looping,
Hmm.
for loop we can. This is a list of tuples, so we can loop this and get the elements separately.
Hmm. Or if I want to have in this particular way.
We can do the map transformation here.
Hmm. So map transformation is going to perform what?
So get the element lambda through lambda function. X is data comma this, uh, and transform data into this form, required form.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
or you can separately, if we can, then we can use flat map as well. Separate data through comma and required it. Then through lambda function we can convert it.
Do we get the outcome in this particular way?
I think through flat map we can get.
Okay. How? Tell me. So we are having this particular, say shorted RD, huh? Shorted RD is there. Okay, shorted RD dot flat map, huh?
Then flat map, yes.
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
lambda function
Hmm.
x
Colon lambda
x x
x.
x colon,
Hmm.
and then in x comma 0, x in bracket 0, in uh,
X of 0, huh?
x of 0,
Hmm.
and then this double colon x comma 1, and close into one bracket. Not comma. Remove both commas. Yeah, x comma 1, and close x comma 0 and x comma 1 in one bracket. Yes,
Hmm.
and close the close bracket and try to run.
Okay. Okay. The syntax is not correct, huh?
I think to add colon, some kind of concatenation will be required.
Some kind of concatenation,
Yeah, to add
huh?
that colon instead of comma.
Okay. Okay, the simple stuff is iterated with for loop, huh? Okay, if I'm having this particular input and I want to have output in this particular way, so I can iterate it with the help of for loop, huh? So what we are having, this is the result. Okay, and and what I will do, so I will iterate it with the for loop and then print this particular word, okay, with respect to the iteration and the count, right? Let me show you. Let me try to show you. So for, say, word in word comma count, in result, in this particular result, and what I want to have, I want to have this word number colon this count number, na? So I can have word, I can have the count, okay, and for word count in result, things are looking fine. Let me try to do, and then you need to explain me what has happened. Okay, so data 7 is 5 big 4. So we are able to get uh, like in the required format. Uh, you can run dot you can run say result dot take 10 only. So it is going to provide you the the numbering with respect to 10 numbers only. Top 10 numbers.
Ashok, what is F in print statement?
Basically like formatting. This is
Okay.
nothing but like with respect to the formatting. So what we are having, we can pass the the variables, and it will provide me the outcome with respect to the variable. So word is going to iterate from this particular, you can say, list what we are having. So in first iteration what we are having this particular data. In this what we are having word and its count. So first iteration word is count. This word is word and count is word 7. In the second iteration what we are having is and 5. Third iteration what we are having big and 4. So it is going to take word and count inputs and iterate through this particular result. Okay, that is having say 1 2 3, based upon the elements it is having that particular indexing, and then we will be able to get the outcome in terms of word and count. Right, so take 10. So it is an action and we are able to get the information about 10 only. If we are going to take say 2, it is going to provide me the information or key and value pair with respect to the top two keywords from the given data set. It will provide me two values only. Okay, data 7 is 5. Right, is it fine?
Yes, Ashok.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Perfect. So over here, what we have done, we have written this particular code into multiple lines. But what we can do, we can write it in single line only. Just have a look. Like this is like good for the understanding perspective. You are able to get like base RDD generated after performing this particular operation, flatted RDD is generated from this particular operation, mapped RDD from this particular operation. But how we will be able to do this? Say this is say base RDD, and what I can do onto base RDD, I can apply the flat map transformation. Okay, on flat this particular you can say I can apply flat map transformation. Then onto this particular RD I can apply map transformation. Let me try to mention it in single line first, then we will try to make it good with respect to visualization. sorted RDD. Okay, that is also fine. And then what I can do, take 2. And now okay, so what I have done in this particular you can say single line of code, I have performed all of these particular operation, right? So if I have written in this particular, and this is the way of coding, like how the code is written. So in this particular way, like the code is written. Now you can do something in order to visualize it in a good way and take 2. Okay. So on base RD, what I have done, I have like read it from this particular location. After reading, I have performed onto this the flat map transformation. After flat map transformation, whatever the output was there, I performed the map transformation, then reduce by key transformation, then short by key, and finally I have performed the take as an action. And once I have performed the take action, then like the output is stored in this particular uh, variable. At this moment, it is not a you can say RDD. Okay, so then I have iterated it with the help of this particular for loop, like base RDD. I have mentioned RDD, but that is not an RDD. Okay, so let me try to print the type of
Ashok, here
uh-huh.
you told like its base RDD is not a RDD, but how? In the previous session,
just
like if we are going to the transformation and all, the first RDD, we can consider the RDD, na?
just a minute.
If we are reading the file, then
Yeah, that's create RDB.
yes.
Just a minute. Action has provided me this. So what is the outcome of action? So outcome of action, you are talking about, are you able to get classes list over here? Right? Classes list type of base already. Are you able to see? Now
Yeah, we.
let
But last time it was RDD when we
Yeah,
did.
this is the doubt. This is the doubt here. Like,
just a minute. I know you will be having doubt, and you are having the answer as well. Print type of RDD. Okay. So over here we are reading the data from this particular file, and then we are checking the type of RDD, RDD1. And over here we are reading the data and checking the type as well. Like performing this much of transformation, then we are checking the type. Just have a look. So base RDD1 is an RDD, and the base RDD is a list. What we will be able to get. So first one is RDD and second one is list. Okay. Now you need to tell me why it has happened. So what we are having say this particular code. So this particular code, so we are having say base RDD. From base RDD, what we are having, let me try to use this one. Okay, let me try to check and say flatted RDD. Then on flatted RDD, what we have performed the transformation, then we got mapped transformation, mapped RDD. On mapped RDD, we have applied say reduced byte key transformation, so reduced RDD. And on this we have applied a transformation short by key, so shorted RDD. And on shorted RDD, we have taken the action. Okay, so what exactly is happening over here? Once you are going to take the action, then what will happen? The execution will begin from the starting. Execution will start from the beginning. So in this particular flow, the execution will happen, and once the action is taken, then the output is given to the driver. Output is directed towards driver. Okay, whatever the action we are going to take, whatever the action is going to take, that is going to direct the output towards the driver machine. Okay, action is going to move the data towards the driver. So over here, like we know, once we apply transformation on RDD, then it provide me another RDD. Once we apply transformation or RDD, then it will provide another RDD. But over here, like the operations are performed, and at last I have performed what? I have taken an action. And action is not going to provide me RDD. Have I mentioned any time like action will provide you an RDD?
No.
So over here, action has been performed. Action is going to route the data towards the driver machine, and it will not be the RDD. It is the plain list at this moment. Okay, RDD is what? That is distributed collection of elements into the different machines. And over here, this is not distributed. List is available towards the driver machine. Once you have performed, once you have taken the action, then the output is directed towards the driver, and it is not distributed at this moment. Are you able to get?
Yes, Ashok, yes.
Okay, so same thing is happening over here. Here the last operation is action. Okay, but over here, once we are reading the data, this is first way of creation of RDDs. So we are having RDD. On this particular RDD, if I have applied this transformation, then it has given me another RDD. But once I am going to apply action on an RDD, then it is not going to provide me another RDD. The output will be directed towards the driver machine, and it will not be distributed in nature. Right? So this is the beauty of Spark. Like you will be able to minimize the line of code. Either like the for better visibility, you can write it in this way, or you can write in a single line. Okay, but at this moment, like if I have moved with this particular approach, probably you will not be able to get the understanding what exactly is being happening onto this particular RDD, right? Is it fine?
Right, Ashok. Fine.
Right,
Okay,
Ashok.
perfect, perfect. So what we are able to get, we are able to get top 2, top 3, or top 10 numbers, and we are able to short it. So we have seen short by transformation. In today's session, it's a transformation. Uh, transformation, short by, and the action, what we have seen, that is nothing but take and collect. Okay, these are the two actions what we have taken. Take is going to take an number over here, and collect is not going to take any, you can say, input. It is going to collect the complete data and move it towards the driver machine. Now you need to tell me what will be the, what is the good action over here? Is it take or collect? Which action is good over here? Take or collect? Say you are having 1 terabyte of data, that you got after performing certain operation. Okay, now you are going to take two actions. You need to take one action out of, say, take and collect. Which one you are going to take?
Take
Which one? And
for
why?
better visibility, like limited sets of action. What we have to see, like our action. Take will be better
Why?
because it provide limited set of records.
But like if we are getting all the records, then that is also
Then
fine,
collect.
huh? That is also fine. But what can be the consequences if you are going to take, if you are going to apply collect? What can be the issue? Okay, so focus over here. So what exactly is happening once you are going to take the action? Output is directed towards the driver machine, towards the driver. So if the driver machine configuration is very less, and the data that you are going to collect, that is huge, the driver will go out of memory situation. Okay, driver will go out of memory situation, the driver will crash, and the application will be stopped. However, like for the analyst perspective, you can take some data and you can like get the look and feel of the data, and you can proceed with the operation, right? At this moment, driver will not go in out of memory stage. It will not be failed, right? I have
Right.
got it. Like if we are having 1 terabyte of data and you are uh, directing 1 terabyte of data towards the driver machine, then it will go in out of memory stage. Okay. Okay, that is the issue with the collect. So you need to avoid collect. For small data, for learning perspective, that is fine, but we should avoid collect. Okay, so that is one transformation. Another transformation, what we are going to see, that is short by key. Okay, short by key is the another, you can say, transformation what you can have. Okay, so short by key. Now over here, like we are having this particular, say, piece of code, And what I want to do, I want to apply short by key transformation. Short by key. Okay. So short by key, you just need to like provide the key, and the shorting will happen based upon that particular key. Yeah. Okay. So let me try to do the shorting. So say this is the piece of code, and I'm going to apply as a short by key transformation. And if I'm having say lambda x, if I'm having lambda x as an input, so say this is the input, this is the input. Okay, if this is the input, at which level I need to do the shorting?
X of 0.
Hmm.
One.
So based upon this, I need to perform the shorting. So say this is x of 0, and this is say x of 1. Data is x of 0 and 7 is x of 1. So I need to perform the shorting based upon this. And short by key is working on to this one only. So it is going to do the shorting based upon the data. So if I'm going to mention, if I'm going to do the shorting based upon the key, so it will provide me the shorted data, and it is going to short it alphabetically. Okay, if I'm mentioning say if short by key is applied, and what I need to have, I need to have x of 0 comma x of 1. Okay, okay, so what it will do, what it will do, x of 0 is
A key.
yes for key. X of 0 is for key, and x of 1 is for value. So what I need to do, so so I need to do the shorting based upon what, based on x of 1, and I can keep x of 0, right? Shorting will happen based upon x of, shorting will happen based upon key, and which one is key over here? Data. Let
Uh,
me try to mention.
do
Okay,
we need to mention the key? Can we
key,
sort only based on value
key
without?
comma value. Okay, so this is the key and this is the value. Okay, so if I need to do the shorting based upon value, so value is which one? X of 1, right? And this one is x of 0. It will short and provide me the outcome, but one issue will be there. One issue will be there. You will get the outcome in this particular way. Okay, 7 comma say data. You will get the outcome in this particular way, right? Are you able to understand? Let me try to have the execution, then you will get the better understanding. So let me try to comment this. Okay, and paste it over here. Reduced RD. What has happened? I need to have one more bracket. Okay. So just have a look. So short by key is working. It is going to short the data based upon the key. We are having key x of 0 and value is x of 1. Okay, so if I'm going to apply x of g short by key transformation, then what it will do, it will do the short. If I'm mentioning it in this particular way, this is key and this is value, so shorting will happen alphabetically, but I want to short based upon value, so I have kept the 7 as a key over here and the data as a value. So shorting will happen, and I will get the outcome 7 colon data. Just have a look over here. Uh, uh, what has happened? Okay, in order to visualize it in a good way, take 5. One. So count is this. Okay, count comma word. Okay, it will not provide me the outcome. So take 5. Let me try to provide you the outcome. Okay, I need to print it as well. Print base RD. Okay, so so what we need to do, and over here let me try to remove these particular things as well. Okay. Hmm. So there is no need to mention this particular stuff. Okay. So just have a look. So short by key is we are having blank. We are having no record. So because of that, it is providing me one. Okay. Hello one, A1, analytics one, R1. So the shorting over here has happened based upon the alphabets. If I have taken short by key transformation, it is going to short based upon the key only. So it will short the data alphabetically. Just have a look over here. Okay, so it has shorted, say it has shorted alphabetically. So first capital letters are there, then A, R, B, booster, change, data from. So it has done the shorting based upon the key only. So this is the key and this is the value. So if I need to do the shorting based upon value, what I need to do, and let me say over here we are having one clause as well, say ascending. Ascending ascending equal to say false. So it will be descending order. So ascending equal to false, let me mention over here, say ascending equal to false. So it will show the data alphabetically in ascending order, in descending order. So just have a look. You will be getting the data alphabetically shorted because short by key is working, shorting the data based upon the keys only. Okay, so you, world, will, so it has shorted the data alphabetically. What I'm trying to say, friends, short by key is shorting the data in ascending and descending order based upon key. So we are having key data over here. So that is, and that is, you can say, alphabetic values. But what we want, we need to do the shorting based upon values. So what we can do, we can like first change the position of key and value. Okay, say map transfer, whatever the output we are having, let me try to show. So over here, with the help of this, you will not be able to get better understanding. Let me proceed with this one. So short by key, instead of short we are going to have short by key transformation, and say short by key transformation and reduced RD dot short by key. Okay, and that is nothing but shorted RD, and say shorted RD dot collect. So dot collect, and I'm going to print it. Okay, so what will happen? It is going to show the data based upon the keys, based upon the keys, and it will be in ascending order. So descending order, sorry, ascending false, that means descending order. So you are able to get the outcome in this particular way. The output is there in this particular way. But what you need to do, you need to do the shorting based upon what? Based upon values. So whatever the data that you are getting from this reduce by key, okay, reduce by key is providing me the data in this particular way. Okay, reduce by key is, this is the output of reduce by key. Yeah, reduce by key. Pay attention over here. Reduce by key is providing me the output in this particular way, and the short by key is shorting based upon this. So what I can do, if I'm able to interchange the position, so this can become a key and this can become a value. So then if I'm going to apply the short by key, so if I'm having the outcome from reduce by key in this particular way, okay, if I'm having the output in this particular way, so then I can apply short by key over here, short by key, and it will short the data based upon this, right? So in order to like convert the data from this to this form, what I need to do, I need to apply which transformation? Map transformation. So inside the map transformation, if I'm going to provide lambda, and say if I'm going to provide x, so what it will provide? X of 1 comma x of 0. So it can provide x of 1 comma x of 0, x of 0. So I want to have, if I'm providing say x of 0, x of 1, so I want to get x of 1 comma x of 0. So it will change the position. Okay, so now what will happen? Okay, so if we are having this, the output will be like this, and then what I will do, I will short based upon key, and once I am going to get the output, then again what I will do, I will apply the map transformation. Okay, after the shorting, so at that moment, like say this is x of 0 and this is x of 1. So I want x of 1 in first and then x of 0 later. Then I will be able to get the outcome in the required format. Are you able to get? Let me try to show you practically. So, so first the output from the reduced RDD. Reduced RDD dot collect. And let me try to paste it over here. Okay, so we are getting the output in how 1 R1 U1. What I need to do, I want to apply short by key. Short by key transformation is going to short the data based upon the keys. But if I'm able to interchange key and values, then one will be the key and how will be the value. So short by key transformation will be applied onto this after changing, and once I'm able to get the output, then I will convert it into the previous format. So what I will do, I will convert it into say reduced RD, reduced RD dot map and lambda, and what I can say, map to equal to reduced RD dot map lambda, and if I'm passing x, so I just want to have x of 1 comma x of 0. Okay, that is, and map to map to dot collect. Okay, so just have a look. It will provide me one how. Previously it was how one, now it is one how. Okay, so key and value has been interchanged, right? Guys, are you able to see key and value has been changed.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ashok.
fine.
Yes.
Okay, now I can apply the short by key transformation. So map to dot short by key and ascending equal to false. Okay, and I can store it, say shorted to shorted to. I can store it into the shorted to. Okay, and shorted to dot collect. Okay, so it will provide me the shorted output with respect to the keys. And at this moment, key is what? The numerical values, right? Right?
Right, Ashok, right.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
Ashok.
yes, Ashok.
Perfect. But this is not what we are expecting. We are expecting the data in key and value pair. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to again apply the map transformation. So say shorted to equal to map shorted to dot map transformation, and if I'm going to say have x, and I just want to have x comma 1. Which one is x comma 1? Data is x comma 1 over here. So I just want to have x comma 1, x1, sorry, not comma, and x of 0. I'm again changing the position. Okay, and I can store it, or I can collect it over here as well. Dot collect. Okay. Okay, so data 7 is 5, big 4, 2, 3. Okay, world 3. This is what we are expecting, right?
Yes, Ashok.
So can
Yes.
someone explain like what has happened with respect to short by key over here? And what is the difference between short by and short by key? Hmm? What is the difference between short by and short by key?
Sort by we can sort only on the basis of the value, whereas in sort by key we are sorting on the basis of key.
Short by short by is working onto the indexing. We can
And
mention any index and it will do the sorting based upon
yes,
that.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so over here, if you are able to see, we have shorted based upon x of 1. If you want to short x of 0, then also it will work. If like we are having three elements, so x of say 2, you can do the sorting. Okay, so short by is working, performing the sorting based upon the index, but short by key is performing the sort based upon the keys only. Now you need to play smartly based upon which you want to do the sorting. So what we were having data in this particular way. Initially, reduce by key is giving me the data in this particular way. Just focus on to the selected portion. It was providing me the data in this particular way. So if I'm going to apply sort by key, so it will do the sorting based upon key. Key is what the alphabetic value over here. How are so if I apply sort by key, then it will do the sorting based upon this. How are you? So that is not the expected outcome. That will not be the expected output. So what I need to do, I need to change the position. So one is taken in front, so I have applied map transformation. So inside the map transformation, if I have given x, then I'm taking x of 1 and 0. So I have changed the position of x of 0 and x of 1. Then I got the output in this particular way. Now I have applied the sort by key transformation, and it has done the sorting based upon the data which is available, and I got the output in this particular way. But this is not what I was expecting. I want to have the outcome in key and value pair. Then again, I have changed the position from key to value and value to key. Okay, so the position this is the position of key, so it will come front, it will become a key, and this is the position of value, it will key over here, but it will come onto the value position, and then I have collected and I am able to get the required outcome. So probably like over here onto the command prompt you will be able to get, okay, onto uh, id, probably like it will be typical to understand, because after each and every execution we will not be able to see the previous values,
So,
right?
so Ashok, is there any benefit to using sort by key? Because same.
Benefit we will discuss tomorrow about the benefits,
Okay, okay. Because
okay.
in short, it can be done easily. And sort by key, we need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
change the. Okay.
So I will
Then,
provide you certain scenarios, then you need to tell me which one is better. So tomorrow we will be
okay,
having discussion. We will start our discussion with short by key and short by only.
okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
Okay. So that's it for this particular session, friends. If you are having any doubt, you can ask. Anything that you are not able to understand, and try to have the spark in your machines and do the practice on daily basis, you will have certain queries during the interviews. You need to write down the code with respect to the problem, during the interviewer will ask like, I'm having this particular data, I want to process this one. Okay, okay, so those particular things will be asked during the interview. Okay, so try to start practice, and then you will be able to do. There will not be a rocket science, you will be able to do, but until unless you are not doing it by your hand, you can't. Okay, fine, let me stop recording.
Fine, Ashok. Fine.
Fine, Ashok.